I work at a Michelin-starred restaurant in Copenhagen. Last month, an American couple walked in without a reservation. Our host politely explained we were fully booked. The man stared at her like she'd spoken Klingon. "We just need a table for two," he said slowly, as if volume would create space. She repeated we had no availability. He pulled out his phone. "I'm checking your website right now. It says you're open." She nodded. "Yes, we're open. 4 guests with reservations." He blinked. "So you're not actually full. 20 minutes of this." He genuinely could not process that open and available were different concepts. Eventually, he asked if we took walk-ins in America. She said this wasn't America. He replied, "But you speak English, so same rules apply." They left a review saying we refuse service for no reason. My friend in Prague works hotel reception. American guest demanded a wake-up call at 6. She scheduled it. He called the desk at 6:03, furious we hadn't called. She checked the log, they had called, no answer. He insisted his phone never rang. She verified the room number and extension. He said, "Maybe your phones don't work internationally." He was using the room phone. The hotel phone, in his hotel room. A bookshop clerk in Amsterdam told me about a tourist who got angry that staff wouldn't follow him around offering help. He kept saying, "In America, someone asks if you need assistance." She explained they were available if he had questions. He said that wasn't good enough. He wanted preemptive service. She said they respected customers' space to browse. He called it ignoring customers and said he'd never experienced such rudeness. He was the only customer in the store. Here's the thing about being ignored: most countries don't see it that way. They see it as basic respect. I manage a cafe in Stockholm. An American woman came in, sat down, and waited. After 10 minutes, she approached the counter. "Is someone going to take my order?" I pointed to the counter. "You order here." She looked betrayed. "You watched me sit there for 10 minutes. I explained we don't have table service." She said, "Then why didn't you tell me when I walked in?" I said most people see the counter and order. She got intense. "You saw me sit down. You saw me waiting. And you said nothing." I apologized for the confusion. She wasn't hearing it. "That's not confusion. That's deliberate rudeness. You ignored a customer on purpose." I tried explaining we assumed she was waiting for someone. She cut me off. "Don't make excuses. You saw an American and decided to ignore them." She demanded my manager. I told her I was the manager. She asked for the owner's number. I said I'd pass along her feedback. She said she'd contact corporate. "We're independently owned." She left muttering about Nordic attitude problems. Her friend ordered a coffee and apologized. She told her friend, "Don't enable them." My cousin works at a pharmacy in Munich. American tourist asked where the aspirin was. She pointed to aisle 3. He didn't move. She asked if he needed anything else. He said, "Aren't you going to show me?" She said it was in aisle 3, middle shelf. He stared at her. "You're not going to walk me there?" She explained she needed to stay at the counter for other customers. He said in America, pharmacists help you find things. She said the aspirin was clearly marked. He said this was terrible customer service. She offered to have someone assist him when they finished stocking. He said, "Forget it. I'll find it myself." He then took 15 minutes browsing, came back and asked her to ring up his items. She did. He didn't say thank you. She said have a nice day. He said, "I would if people here were friendlier." The pharmacy had helped 6 other customers while he wandered. None complained about being ignored. A museum guide in Florence told me about an American couple who got upset that no one approached them in the gift shop. They browsed for 20 minutes, bought nothing, and complained to management that staff actively avoided them. The manager asked if they needed help. They said they shouldn't have to ask. The manager explained staff doesn't interrupt browsers. The woman said, "That's just an excuse for laziness." We could see employees hiding behind counters. The manager said employees were processing inventory and helping other guests. The man said, "Other guests asked for help. We were clearly looking around. That should be enough." The manager asked what they needed. They said nothing, they were just browsing. The manager paused. "So you didn't need help?" The woman said, "That's not the point. The point is nobody offered." They left a TripAdvisor review saying the museum had hostile staff who ignore American tourists. The review included a photo of an employee restocking shelves with the caption, "Too busy to help customers." That employee had helped 11 people that shift. "I'm a train conductor in Switzerland." American passenger asked when we'd arrive in Geneva. I told him 1447. He nodded. At 1430, he stopped me in the aisle. "You didn't announce Geneva." I said we had, in German, French, and Italian. He said, "Not in English." I explained we announce in national languages. He said, "You announced it to everyone but me." I said the digital displays showed all stops in English. He said he shouldn't have to watch a screen. I said I could tell him directly when we approached his stop. He said that wasn't the point was equal announcements. I said announcements were equal, just not in every language. He said excluding English was discriminatory. I reminded him Switzerland has 4 national languages. English isn't one of them. He said more tourists speak English than Romansh. I said we still announce in Romansh. He asked why we'd cater to fewer people. I said because it's a national language. He said that was backwards logic. I told him we'd arrive in 9 minutes. He said, "See, you can say it in English when you want to." My sister works at a spa in Reykjavik. American client booked a massage. Therapist introduced herself, asked about pressure preferences, and began. 50 minutes of professional silence. After, the client complained to the desk. She didn't talk to me the entire time. My sister asked if something went wrong with the massage. She said no, the massage was fine. But she completely ignored me. My sister explained therapists don't chat during sessions. The client said, she could have asked how I was doing. Made conversation. Something. My sister said most clients prefer quiet. She said, you should ask. You shouldn't assume everyone wants silence. My sister said she'd pass along the feedback. The client said, you're doing it now. You're just standing there listening. Say something. My sister asked what she'd like her to say. She said, I don't know. Engage. Make me feel welcome. My sister said she hoped the client enjoyed the massage. The client said, that's so scripted. That's not real engagement. She wrote on the feedback form that staff were cold and robotic. She gave 5 stars for the massage itself. 0 stars for atmosphere and interaction. A bartender in Dublin told me about an American who sat at the bar for 30 minutes nursing 1 beer. Quiet night, maybe 4 other people there. Bartender was polishing glasses, chatting with regulars. The American eventually said, you haven't checked on me once. Bartender said he could see his pint was still half full. American said, you haven't asked if I wanted another. Bartender said he'd ask when the glass was empty. American said, that's not how it works. You check in. You make conversation. You create an experience. Bartender asked if he wanted another beer. American said, now I do, but you should have asked 10 minutes ago. Bartender poured another. American said, you're Irish. I thought Irish people were supposed to be friendly. Bartender said he was friendly. American said, you've barely said 5 words to me. Bartender said he didn't want to interrupt. American said, interrupt what? I'm sitting here alone. Bartender said exactly. He looked like he wanted quiet. American said, "If I wanted quiet, I'd stay in my hotel." One of the regulars leaned over. "Mate, you're in a pub, not a therapy session." The American left. "I work reception at a ryokan in Kyoto." American guest checked in and asked about breakfast. I told him it was served from 7 to 9 in the dining room. He asked if someone would call his room when it was ready. I said breakfast is available during those hours. He could come whenever he liked. He said, "So nobody's going to tell me when to eat?" I confirmed. He looked suspicious. "What if I miss it?" I said the hours were clearly posted. He said he didn't want to watch the clock. I offered to arrange a 7 o'clock seating if he preferred structure. He said he didn't want structure, he wanted flexibility. I said he had flexibility, 2-hour window. He said, but no guidance. I asked what guidance he needed. He said someone should let him know the best time to come. I said any time in the window was fine. He said, "You're not understanding. I need someone to tell me when." I suggested 8 o'clock as a middle option. He said, "See, you can make recommendations when you try." Next morning, he came to breakfast at 7:52. Afterward, he complimented the meal. Then he said, "But nobody checked on me during breakfast." I said staff were available if he needed anything. He said, "They were in the room. They just didn't come to my table." I explained that in traditional ryokan service, staff remain discreet unless summoned. He said that felt like being ignored. I said it was meant as respect. He said, "It doesn't feel respectful. It feels like I'm invisible." I said many guests appreciated the privacy. He said, "Maybe Japanese guests. Americans need more attention." I said I'd note his preferences. He asked if I was writing them down. I said I'd remember. He said, "That's what I mean. You say you'll remember, but you're not actually doing anything." Here's what I've learned: Americans aren't wrong for wanting attention. They're just surprised when other places define service differently. Silence isn't rejection. Space isn't rudeness. Sometimes not being interrupted is the politeness. The thing is, these guests never ask what local customs are. They just assume their version of attentiveness is universal. And when it's not, they take it personally. Next time, the Americans who thought "next customer, please" was a declaration of war. Because apparently, being asked to wait your turn is an international incident.